Sometimes in the TV or any other place we can see advertisement. If you apply these, certain things will be all right. If you eat this will be the result. So many promises they give, but we try our best in order to get result. If we don't try, then we don't get result. So in many ways we believe in that advertisement because we want to get result. But many times we are disappointed because the result is not what we supposed to get or desire it. So Jesus today, God is promising something, and his promise is always fulfilled. Whether we believe or not, but his promise is always fulfilled. He promised by giving his own body and blood, he has promised two things. He said they will be united in him and they will have eternal life. Two things, that we will be united. If we are receiving Jesus, then we will be always united with Jesus. And the second thing is we will have eternal life. Do we believe in this promise? Do we come in the desire to receive Jesus every Sunday? Do we long for this Jesus to receive in our heart and keep Jesus and go home in greater joy? If we don't, then we are not united with Jesus. We come every Sunday, receive Jesus, but we are not receiving Jesus because we don't believe. If we believe, then we are carrying Jesus. If we don't believe, then we are not carrying Jesus. I always say, every Eucharist, after receiving Jesus, we need to change. If there is no change, then there is something wrong in us. It is not wrong in Jesus, but wrong in us. Because maybe our faith, maybe we don't want it to receive because the flow of the community helped me to get up and go and receive Jesus. Or coming for Mass because my parents are saying, go for Mass, and I just come, not believing at all in Jesus, whom I'm going to receive. So many things. Sometimes we have clear-cut conviction that I am going to receive Jesus. And sometimes somebody has no clear-cut, just I come because the community is going. Or if I don't go for Mass, what people will say or think. So I go for Mass in order to show people that I am also good Catholic. Good Catholic does not mean that coming and receiving or coming Sunday, but change of heart. Our heart has to change. Then only we call good Catholics. Because we are receiving God himself. Because Jesus is saying, if you eat my flesh and if you drink my blood, you will have life. And I will be with you, and you and I will be one. So that you may have eternal life. So it is not fake promise. It is not advertising in television. But in truth, he is saying, because he is himself the truth. And God never lies. We can tell lies, lies upon lies. Even if I say something, maybe it can be not true. But if God says, he says. Whether we believe or not, it is upon us. If we believe and receive Jesus and change ourselves completely, slowly, every Sunday, if we are receiving Jesus with faith, surely we will be changed. We will not remain the same. The apostles, they remained 3 years, still some are finding difficult to believe in Jesus. Slowly, Jesus accompanied them, helped them, and finally they accepted Jesus. And when they received Jesus in their heart, boom, they are ready to give their life. Are we ready to give our life for Christ? Are we ready to give our addictions? Are we ready to give which we are so taking so precious to us? Are we ready to give up everything for Christ? Before it was giving up the life, but now we can say that giving up something which is blocking me for receiving Jesus in my heart. Maybe it may be money, it may be some person, it may be mobile, or many other things where my heart is going that side more than I give Jesus. So if I really am convinced that Jesus is the one who can help me in my life, the promise he is giving me, so that I may receive him, so that I may be changed, then only it will be working in us. So every Christians, Catholics have to change and change and change. If Catholics are not changing, then they are not receiving Jesus. Body, blood, soul, and divinity. Jesus himself. If Jesus is in my heart, do you think that I will show envy? Do you think that I will be jealous with anybody? Do you think that I will desire to murder someone? Do you think that I will look or I have impure look and impure thoughts? Jesus is holiest of the holy. And if Jesus is in me, Jesus makes everything holy. So there is no point of continuing sinning. The fact we are doing sin because we are not receiving Jesus with our faith, with our heart. That is why we are still suffering. If we are full of Jesus, then Jesus will act in us, through us. Jesus will love as he loved each one of us, through me. So that is why it's very important to think what Jesus can do in us if we receive him. That is why first reading is saying, come and drink, come and eat, so that you may live and you may walk in the perfection. So how we live and walk in the perfection if we don't have Jesus in us? For food, we eat the food because when we eat the food, we have strength to walk. We have strength so that we may walk and work in life and live our life. So also, if we have Jesus, we will walk in perfection and live a perfect life. Not showing like perfectionism, but living a perfect life. Living a good life. That is what it means. So if we are hungry, then we need food. Without food, we always live hungry. So only when we eat food, the hunger is gone. The same thing for our soul. We need God. Without God, we find very difficult to do good things. We are finding very difficult to understand each other. We find very difficult to forgive. We are finding very difficult to really accept each other differences. If we have God, everything will be okay. Accepting each other also is not a problem for God, because God accepted each one of us just the way we are. Broken, wounded, sinful, stubborn, but still God accepts. If God accepts us, then we also can accept each other, whether they are stubborn or they are bad or good, no problem. Because if we are union with God, then in God we can accept each other. So that is why it's very important. The second reading is saying, look carefully, brethren, how you walk. How you walk. Not as unwise, but wise, as a wise man or woman. So if we are in God, we are always wise. If we are always united with God, always we are becoming wise. Because God is the wisdom. God is the wisdom, it says. So if God is the wisdom, Jesus is the wisdom, then if we are with Jesus, then wisdom is with us. Then we can know how to live a perfect life, a good life, and we can walk slowly with Christ. So that is why it's very important to have Jesus, to eat Jesus, so that Jesus and we are always becoming one and one and one. So in this Mass, we ask for this grace so that we may receive Jesus in our heart. We may eat Jesus with reverence and love, so that Jesus may come in us and we may stay with Jesus all the time, so that when we go home, we may always know to give Jesus. And we may always desire to give Jesus to each one of us, each one of the family members, so that we may slowly change ourselves and families, so that by the grace of God, by Christ, we may be changed completely in life.